Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here with a small mini watch list. I'm going to give you 3 stocks that are setting up for next week and actually going forward. Doesn't even have to be. It could actually go out much further in the future. I think these are great levels. There's a couple small cheapies, penny stocks, and there's 2 good ones that I want to show you right now. These have made it to the HPS watch list, which is our members premium watch list that goes out each week. So I'll give you a little example of what you could see on that sometimes. And just also I want to start off by talking about something I discussed on the radio today. Now, the importance of having a set criteria to get yourself into a trade. We know what moves the market. We know technically we could, really point out the best places to get the biggest moves in the direction that we're looking for. All right, that is the patience and the discipline are needed to wait for that time to set up. Because that's the big thing about trading is everyone wants to make money every day, but there's really good times, especially in swing trades that are really good. And we could go back and I could chart them out. We could see these levels play out over and over again, and that's the important part. So I'm always trying to get you those setups each week. And I have a few of them today that I'm going to pass on to you. And they usually start off with channels, some kind of 1, 2, 3 channel, which we have 3 pivots, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. And we can make a parallel line, and we extend those. And what we'll notice is a lot of times the price action will come back down to it, even if it's so old. In this case, this is actually on the weekly chart. This is going back years. But but I put this out probably in 2014 when I was trading this. But look at even on the weekly. If you came back down to an area that set up years ago, and it could have bounced anywhere. I always say you could have bounced 10 points higher, 10 points lower, but it had to pick that spot, had to pick this spot, had to pick this spot, and it continues on. So that's really important. You can see back here how it came down. We kind of flushed through it, and even though we flushed through it on news, that's one typically technical levels break down is because there's an outside force effect in the markets, and that comes in news. So this was the coronavirus. Everything got smashed down, or else it would have probably bounced right there. But what we could find out is every time we bounce back above the pattern, that line still is a very good trend line. And if it just was broken because of news, the next retest usually holds up pretty good, and that is exactly what happened. And this is a trading zone. So you have a trend line and you have an oversold stochastic. That combination right now should be your number 1 criteria of taking a trade. Anything else, in my opinion, could be considered, just a different type. Maybe it's a momentum trade you're looking at, but it's not going to give you the highest probability setups that you can find in this market. I mean, we're looking for big moves. So a couple of those stocks here are setting up for this past week. And if you watch the show's on every day. I try to get into the office about 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. We broadcast all the way to the close, and there's a few nights that we do an overnight broadcast or a nighttime show, and then futures start on Sunday night. So it's all at DaytradingRadio.com if you happen to maybe be running across the video for the first time. Here is HII. Now, here's what I like about the HII here is this reversal candle. Here's the underlying trend line I wanted to show you on this one. It's very important. You have 2 good pivot areas, and a pivot area is an area where the price actually changed direction out of a trend. And normally, if you're looking at whatever time frame you're looking at, that's the trend you're looking at. So a daily time frame, this would be the major pivot because it'll be the low spot before that trend is broken. And that trend is easy enough to identify by just putting trend lines in. Trend lines are key in this market. So you just have to worry about, on the downward trend line, you're mostly worrying about the top trend line, and the rising trend line, you're worrying about the bottom one. So here we have a great support line here. Came down once, twice, and the 3rd time we actually bounced, the 4th time we bounced, and now the 5th time we bounced. Had a recent divergence back here, and it had a nice reversal candle, a support level, and like I said, the divergence right here is a very clean, higher turn back up. So everything about this gives us a reason to get in on this trade. It's a little more, it's a more expensive stock, but technically speaking, it's high on the list, and we're long calls on that. The other one I wanted to show you today, and I didn't. This is kind of a. I just put it on this week's watch list. So, is TAP, and I actually just bought some today. So I picked up some TAP, Molson Coors Brewing Company beer. It's definitely no Sam Adams, but the. I've been waiting for it. Here's Sam Adams. I've been, watching TAP every so often. Someone mentioned to me yesterday. I looked at it, and then today I really looked at it again, and the combination of that divergence again. What are we looking for? We're looking for one of our special indicators to be lined up with the oversold, in this case, a divergence. But we want other things. So we have a support line here. We have a divergence. We have a reversal candle, which is an engulfing pattern to the upside. This is multiple indicators set up, and that's exactly what we want. And we had a divergence back here. This one also, look at that. I hope there's not a fire outside. Basically, every divergence signal led to some upside. So we just have a new one here. So everything here looks good. $34. Maybe the coronavirus second wave kills sports again in the fall. There's things out there that could affect this and affect the economy to the downside. That does play a big part on everything. Market conditions start to improve with the coronavirus. Expect this one technically to be set up here. And I did pick up some today. So that one is on the list. I have other ones on the list. I'm not going to bring them all up here. Those are the two new interesting ones. But I also want to talk about two cheap ones. The VTGN, throwing this one out to you. It's under the radar. They do a nasal spray for depression and anxiety and stuff. And in this day and age, post-COVID, in the middle of COVID and the depression and suicides and everything, this is an interesting company. They have some trials going on. They have some products. I just think that, they start. This is set up. This is perfect for me. 74 cents. It's got a few thousand shares. Not a big position, but something that looks perfect here. VTGN, you can look it up yourself. I did a few videos on it when we originally got into it. And it's acting really good. I mean, we got him down here. It moved up. It's pulled back since and starting to move back up. I haven't, I think we're going to get a pop through this $1, probably through. Who knows where we're going to go on this? Who knows? I'd like to see something pop up to $2 to $3 on this. That'd be massive. VTGN. And the other penny stock is the INPX, is it? Pixion. And this is a social contact tracing type of app. They track people in spaces and inside buildings, and they track you using GPS and your phone, and they know where clusters of people are. Again, look up the company and look at some of the videos they put out there. Really cool technology, really cool stuff. You know what? Let me show it to you real fast here. All right, you can see here, turning location data into actionable indoor intelligence. See if there's anything here. Indoor positioning, indoor mapping. They can tell where people go. I was thinking about this the other day when I got in. I said I should drop this. If there was more people at casinos, this they could track how many people are at a certain machine. There's a lot of use to this, and it just hasn't taken off yet. It hasn't. It's very similar to the stock we got into months ago called Remark. And that was the temperature one for COVID temperature screening. But this one is also something very similar to that. They had some good videos on this also. Let's see if I could find the video fast. Really interesting. I found a video on it. And actually, I never watched this one. This was an interview they did on Yahoo Finance. And it was pretty interesting. I'll let you listen to it a bit. It's about 4 minutes long.
Next, please move the prompter. Well, an app hopes to help INPX is out with an app that
this
helps
is actually in
shoppers
2019,
find
and I like this too. I mean, this is not great for shoppers, but they are also,
CEO,
listen to this.
Nader Ali joins us now. He's in Palo Alto, California, and INPX uses indoor mapping technology called Jibestream or Jibstream.
Jibestream.
Explain to me first how to pronounce it, and then how does this work?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Adam. Yeah, it's Jibestream, and that's actually our mapping application. But we provide a few other technologies to really make this work. And it's a combination of IoT sensors, similar to your Wi-Fi access points, that allow us to pick up data and really deliver indoor intelligence in a shopping mall or retail store. But also, you want to be able to have a map, right? To use that data to best view it, the most intuitive way is.
So just imagine this having clusters of people
GPS,
or contact tracing.
Navigation apps
contact tracing, or where
so if
groups of people
I'm a
are.
consumer in a mall, in fact, we just completed American Dream. I want to be able to go from, you know, the Starbucks to the Apple Store, or point A to point B. How do I find myself, you know, through that process? Because some of these are millions of square feet, right? So we use sensors and information about how much traffic is in the mall, where people are spending time, what's the correlation between stores, and then the map helps you get there.
But once I'm in the store, Nader, I can find a product specifically. How does this help the store owner? Because they have to buy into this, I would imagine. They have to have something within the store that allows this technology to work. So how does it benefit them? Because I went on the website and you talk about enhancing security, so I assume that means shoplifting, you prevent that, but also increase sales. Show us how that works.
Sure. So let's start with the security piece. So with security, it's certainly from shoplifting, and you hear about, you know, groups of folks coming in and mall and grabbing and running off with things. So we can enhance security. But in terms of the retail experience, the retailer is going to want this information because, you know, retail's getting.
And again, like I said, this is
right?
this was an interview in 2019 before COVID really blew up here. So they really the technology here is actually just as good for, you know, clusters of people and stuff and tracking people. That's what I read into. And that, you know, that's me looking at this app and saying, wow, there's here, right here.
That data,
look at this.
Using our sensor technology and our analytics platform allows the retailer to deliver a much better experience to their customers. So they can understand what services make sense, when do I need to add more staffing, where do I need to add the staffing, and what things should I cluster together? What products make more sense to put together?
With all the data you have collected, what have you learned about the state of America's malls?
So malls are here to stay. Retail is not going away. We think that there's definitely, you know, been overbuilding in the U.S. compared to other countries. So there's definitely going to be some, you know, stores that don't exist anymore, and some shopping centers will go away. But the stores that stay and are successful are going to be focused on the experience. And to deliver that experience, you need data, and that's where we're trying to help them.
Yeah.
So outside of the retail industry, what other industries and sectors are you sort of partnering with to use this technology?
That's a great question. So retail is definitely something that we've, you know, done some business with, but we're getting calls from enterprise customers that you want to use our applications for security. So for corporate enterprises, government agencies, they want to understand, you know, where folks are in their facilities, where assets may be in the facilities, for security reasons, right? So God forbid there's a security threat. Where do I send first responders? Where is my staff? Universities, schools have reached out. We're also seeing, we've added ultra-wideband capability recently. So we're seeing calls and interest from folks that want to do asset tracking, whether it's in a hospital or a warehouse.
Well, when you talk about asset tracking, I was curious, can you help a store save on the inventory issues that are involved that they have to do every quarter? Because it seems as if you're going to be able to track every individual item on a real-time, second-by-second basis. Right,
absolutely. So with ultra-wideband technology, you can track products down to centimeter level accuracy. So absolutely, all of that information is much easier and readily available, so you can really know where the products are
at
a given time and how many products. So yes, absolutely.
Makes what I don't like about
it
more efficient. Is probably a lot of the things that are showing up in the price here. Like, why is the price here just $1? They did a reverse split back here. If whatever happened back here, it's split, and there was some news, and man, something happened back here in 2020. I didn't go back, but this is what I'm looking at here since May. It moved up, pulled back. Now we're starting to hear about contact tracing at the White House. I just think the news is here. I think you have a great opportunity. just looks good. You also have a divergence signal. So a lot of interesting things. I'm in it. I probably would like to remember this? No, not that one. Mark, remember this one? Remark. This was something very similar. Right was Corona was taking off the heat. We were in this early, and it slowly started moving. And then once it got going, it was $1, then $2, and then finally got up to about $3. That's what I'm looking really for to happen on this INPX here. We're at $1. Let's get to $2, maybe $3. We'll see what happens. I like the whole story. I don't know why it's $1 and change. I don't know. I didn't look at the fundamentals. I don't know how much cash they have. I don't know what the client, what they're bringing in. I like the technology, and I like the chart down here. I like it's real cheap, and so those are the two cheap ones. They're like INPX, VTGN. A lot of other ones we're holding. Just, of the SPACs, don't forget we have Fuse, which seems to be hanging in there, and Fuse warrants. Did I have Fuse warrants? Yeah. And they started taking off. Again, we were in this pretty good, so it did pop a little, and they're starting to move back up. And these are some cheaper ones that want to keep our eye out on that. So that's enough. I don't want to make this too long. Those are the stocks that are on the focus. We have many other stocks in the watch list for this week at the HPS watch list for Day Trading Radio members. So come on by, get the alerts. When you're a member, you get the alerts sent to you when our triggers hit, when our profits are taken, everything. When the stops are hit, everything is tracked for you. All the charts and all the setups go out, and they are tracked, and everything comes to you. That's just the tip of the iceberg. All right, I want to let that get out there. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you Monday morning. We'll see you then.